Tracking a tornado warning across parts of the area. This is going to be for Chester County. We've been tracking a line of severe weather moving into the area. So now we're seeing the potential for rotation in this severe thunderstorm. This one moving through Chester County, tornado warning till 5:45. And for this area, we are talking about wind damage. So that is going to be the main thing until 5:45. Chester County under tornado warning. And this storm was right over Downingtown, or 7 miles west of Westchester. This one's moving east at about 35 miles an hour. So if we zoom into this storm here, you can see right over 76, Euclid seeing very heavy rain from this storm, West Bradford, East Bradford, West Goshen. You are in this warned area as well. So this is the section where we are watching for a potential tornado. This is radar indicated, again, right over Downingtown. This is the area we're watching, and this is the area where we do have a tornado warning. West Bradford, you are in this as well. And again, East Bradford, West Goshen, Westtown, also Birmingham. This storm is traveling again mainly to the east, right around 35, 40 miles an hour. So if you're in this area, Euclid in Chester County near 76, you really want to take cover, take shelter in a basement or the lower levels of your home, and you want to make sure you stay away from windows. So with this particular storm, we are watching the potential for a tornado. So I'm going to switch here so we can show you the winds in this storm. Now, this is what we look at to see rotation in the storm. I'm going to switch to different radar sites here so we can track this for you. We look at this to show you the winds coming in and out of the storm. So really over parts of Downingtown is where we were seeing possible rotation within this storm. I'm going to switch back to where we see the rain here. This is also showing us where we have some of the most dangerous weather within the storm. A lot of lightning strikes here. So again, this is a tornado warning. I'll loop this radar for you so you can see the motion. Now, the red shaded area, that is the warning area itself. So West Goshen, you are right in this warned area. It is a tornado warning. It's just mostly south of 76 in Chester County. That's where we're seeing a majority of the rotation in this storm. So again, tornado warning until 5:45. We're going to stay on with you as the storm travels to the east, mainly around 35 miles an hour. Again, it was about 7 miles west of Westchester, so it's moving east around 35 miles an hour. So this storm will be near West Goshen very soon. It is approaching. I'll track it for the timing. Again, 35 miles an hour to the east as I update this for you. So as we track this storm, again, right near 76 in Chester County as it moves to the east, we're talking about it getting into West Goshen any minute now, really. The heaviest rain is right on the edge. Westtown 533, Radnor 539, Concord 542, and Marple by about 546. Now, we are talking about rotation inside the storm, too. So we're talking about the velocity within this storm, and that's where we look at for rotation. Now, Chief Meteorologist Glenn Hurricane Schwartz is also standing by with a closer look at some of the rotation within this storm. But again, it's traveling to the east right around 35 miles an hour. Glenn?
Right. And if we could take a look at Max 1, that will show a different type of look at the radar. And we'll be seeing the velocity is what we're seeing. We're seeing the winds inside the storm itself. And there it is. I've circled the area. Now you can see where the red is right next to the green, right near West Goshen. This is just where Sheena was talking about. And what you see in cases like this is the wind moving in different directions in very close approximation. So if a radar can see the wind going toward the radar, and just a few miles away from the radar, you are in effect showing and suggesting a circulation. And when they talk about a radar detected tornado, this is what they're talking about. Now, in the middle of the country, the Plain States, they have much clearer indications of that in these big tornadoes, but we don't really see even this kind of a difference in the colors in this part of the country that often. So this does certainly indicate that there is some circular motion inside the clouds that are coming down toward the ground. Now, whether it has actually touched down yet is not confirmed, but the fact that there is a rotation inside that cloud right near West Goshen that is being suggested by that color scheme that you're seeing, the red right next to the green.
All right, Glenn, so now we're looking at, if we can go back to the other computer where we have the radar showing the heavy rainfall and lightning. There we go. So now we're looking at West Goshen, just south of 76 in Chester County. Now this area, I'm going to zoom in because this is a spot where we do expect it to have the most rotation inside this storm. Here are a couple street names for you. South Matlack Street. This is one area near West Goshen. If you're familiar with this area, if this is near you, you need to get into a basement or the lowest level of your home or bathroom. Stay away from windows because, again, this is a very dangerous storm. That's why we have a tornado warning out for. We are seeing rotation in this storm. Now, West Boot Road near Downingtown. This is another area. If you're familiar with that, this is also another section where we're seeing some very strong rotation south of 76 again in Chester County, right near Westchester, which is where we have some of the heaviest rain moving in. So again, tornado warning for this area. I'm going to take this radar off really quick. And now you just see a red box. Now, this is the warned area. Tornado warning goes till 5:45. We have about 15 minutes left here, at least for the warning. Now, we can't say that it's not going to get extended, but this is certainly a section that we will be keeping a very close eye on. Again, West Goshen, East Whiteland, Willistown, Thornberry, these are all sections that are included in this warned area. That's where you see the red. Now I'm going to put the radar back on, and here's where we see all the lightning. Aside from the fact that we could see a possible tornado, again, we haven't had any reports yet of it on the ground, but very strong rotation. Either way, if we're not seeing one in this storm, we're also seeing damaging winds. That is a given. We know this storm has a history of producing damaging winds at least near 60 miles an hour. So this is very dangerous at this point. Very heavy rain, and it does appear on the radar. It continues to make this this practical shape that we see a lot of times during tornado warnings. It's almost like this hook shape here. So this is one area that we're watching, especially near West Goshen. This is a section where we do expect there to be the most rotation within this storm. So we are going to watch this very closely. And again, it's tracking to the east, right around 35 miles an hour. Look at the motion of this storm. Again, the tornado warning just south of 76 in Chester County. And there you see the storm moving to the east right around 35 miles an hour. So I'm going to track this again for you. We'll zoom in again because really where we see the rotation, we do expect it in a fairly small area, but you can really see a bit of a dip in the radar screen here, and that's where we expect some of the most rotation to be. Willistown by 5:37, Edgemont by 5:40, Lima by 5:42, and Sycamore Mills by 5:44. So it is traveling in your direction. If I said any of these city names, town names, township names that you live in, it is certainly heading in your direction. So this is a storm we will continue to watch. Again, some of the road names, if you're familiar with this area or if you live around this area, we are talking about East Strasburg Road. This is one section near East Goshen and also West Goshen that we're watching very closely for the most rotation inside this storm. Where you see this reddish color now with the radar, that indicates some of the heaviest rain. So heavy rain and damaging winds, that's all going to be an issue inside this storm along with the tornado warning. So again, the tornado warning, I took the radar off where you see the rain, but this is a tornado warned area till 5:45. West Goshen and Willistown, you're right on the edge of this as well, but this is a pretty quick moving storm. So as it progresses to the east, more counties or more cities, I should say, will be included in this area where we're seeing the most rotation. Also in Chester County, we've been getting reports of a lot of 911 calls at this moment. So that information was just handed to me, which really leads me to believe there is a lot of wind damage inside the storm right now. So we are talking about some of the most wind damage in Chester County. If not a tornado on the ground, until we get a report of a tornado on the ground, all we know right now is that there is a radar indicated tornado possibly, and also some wind damage. So again, West Goshen, there you see lightning strikes coming up on the screen. And if you are familiar with East Strasburg Road, this is one area where we do expect around the vicinity of East and West Goshen where we expect some of the most rotation. Let's head over to Chief Meteorologist Glenn Hurricane Schwartz to talk more about the tornado warning. Glenn?
Yeah, Sheena, that image that you just showed, or you showed earlier with that, what looked like a notch in the radar echoes, like a little piece cut out of it. That sometimes is where the circulation is. And on the last picture that she showed you, it was flattened out a little bit, which was more typical. Now we're back in the velocity mode, and what we're looking for is the different colors right next to each other, indicating a circulation. So the radar is shooting up into the cloud. It can't see the ground. So what the radar beam is seeing is, in the Doppler radar, it can see the wind in that cloud. And when the wind direction is different, it's seeing the circulation. All right, the circulation is up in the cloud. The ground's down here. Now, the only way to determine whether it is actually on the ground is generally from eyewitnesses. Now, there are enough people that live in that area. If there is something on the ground, somebody is going to see it. It's on the leading edge of this line of thunderstorms. So sometimes in this part of the country, tornadoes are embedded like in the middle of a storm, so you really can't see it. All of a sudden, you see things being blown around. But if it's on the edge, people just ahead of it should be able to see some damage coming up, if that indeed is happening. All right, so the circulation is in Chester County, right where Sheena's been showing you, near the West Goshen area. This is all moving to the east. Now, tornadoes in this part of the country generally don't last very long, only about 5-10 minutes. It's possible that this is starting to stretch out a little bit and not being as tight a circulation as it was. But again, we're just looking for reports now of actually what kind of damage is occurring in central Chester County right now, because we certainly would believe that there is some damage. Whether it's an actual tornado or not may remain to be seen. But we've been showing you all through the afternoon just how strong those winds are at higher levels. Some of these storms have been moving 70 miles an hour. There's a lot of wind high up there. And so in a thunderstorm, some of that wind can come down and cause wind damage even without it being a tornado. Sheena?
That's right, Glenn. And we've gotten a lot of reports Downingtown, also Honeybrook, seeing a lot of very heavy rain, a lot of 911 calls reported in Chester County right now. Heavy rain along with damaging winds. Now, regardless of whether or not we do have a tornado on the ground, which would be a radar indicated tornado at this point, damaging winds, that's going to be the #1 factor. Now, I'm going to take the radar off really quick, and here you can still see the tornado warning. Now, aside from that, this storm, no doubt, is extremely strong. Winds near 60 miles an hour or more, which, like we've been saying, these are very dangerous winds. The tornado warning is still going to go until 5:45. It has not been extended at this point. Now, the storm itself is still very intense as far as the organization to give us a tight rotation, which would eventually be giving us the tornado warning. That is still yet to be seen. It does, as Glenn said, appear to be stretching out. Multiple reports now of trees down. That was in Honeybrook in Chester County, and this is why a lot of 911 calls are coming in. A lot of trees reported down in Chester County around the Honeybrook area. But again, even though it is just Honeybrook damage coming in, this storm covers many areas. So West Bradford, Downingtown, still seeing heavy rain, a lot of wind and a lot of lightning. West Goshen, East Whiteland, Euclid, right across 76, Tedifrin, Willistown, Westtown, Birmingham, East Bradford. A lot of areas in Chester County included in this. Now I need to make mention that it is moving into Delaware County right now. Concord starting to see very heavy rain. Marple, you are on the edge of this storm. It is severe and it will be moving in. Also in Media, you'll be seeing a lot of the storm move in too. Media is right on the edge of this storm across 476. You can expect very heavy rain from this as well. Now again, a severe thunderstorm warning that is now out, including the Philadelphia area. And this storm, this entire storm system, which did prompt a tornado warning, that is moving into the Philadelphia area right now. It is about to move in, but it is moving moving into Delaware County. The tornado warning, that is still up for parts of Chester County. At this point, if there were a tornado on the ground, it would be considered what we call a rain-wrapped tornado. A lot of very heavy rain, and in some cases, the rain is so heavy you can't really see a tornado on the ground. We haven't gotten any reports of a tornado on the ground, but we've gotten several reports of wind damage, now trees down across the area. A lot of lightning here, too. It could be causing some localized flooding just because of all the heavy rain we're seeing. But again, this whole storm system is moving to the east right around 35 miles an hour. I'm going to track it again for you because we have a lot of big cities in the warned area now, too. So by 5:40, it should be in Marple. That's actually right now. So it is on the edge of Marple. Lower Marion by 5:47, and also 5:52 Upper Darby, 5:58 Paulsboro, and around 6 o'clock, which is in about 20 minutes, this entire storm should be moving into the Philadelphia area. So again, this is a strong storm. We do not expect this storm to weaken. The temperatures are too hot, the humidity is too high, and we are still seeing this storm gain strength. So again, the tornado warning, that's still going on. That's still under effect, in effect for the next few minutes. So we are watching this very closely. Very heavy rain. This is a very intense storm. It is in parts now of Newcastle County, so it is moving into the Wilmington area. This is definitely not a good time of day because now it's over the major interstates. It's over the I-95 corridor moving into Wilmington. We expect damaging winds near 60 miles an hour, a lot of lightning, very heavy rain, and this will all continue to move across the I-95 corridor. Now, the tornado warning, that is still in effect for the same area that we mentioned before. Trees down already reported through Chester County. Honeybrook reporting trees down. Other areas in Chester County reporting trees down. And like I mentioned, this entire storm is moving now into Delaware County. So we do expect more storm damage from this storm for Delaware County, also Philadelphia, Lower Marion, Lower Montgomery County, also Newcastle County in Delaware. All these counties included that I just mentioned, you can expect a very strong storm to move, and we do expect damaging winds. And as this crosses the I-95 corridor and crosses the Delaware River, it'll be moving into New Jersey. A lot of areas on the other side of the river going into New Jersey, you'll start to see very heavy rain from this soon. So again, I'm going to track this storm for you. This is a very dangerous storm. You want to stay away from windows if it is approaching your area. It's moving to the east right around 35 miles an hour. Philadelphia close to 6 o'clock. Camden by 6:02. Cherry Hill 6:10. Gloucester by 6:17. So that gives you a pretty good idea of how fast the storm is in fact moving. So again, it's moving into Delaware County. It's going to be crossing 476 here very soon. So it is a storm system that we're watching very closely. Media, you are right on the edge of this. This is moving into Media right now. Marple, it's moving into right now. It'll be moving into Chester very soon here as well, and across the major interstates in this area. So as I zoom out again, you notice the red on here, a lot of lightning. This is a very dangerous storm. And as far as that tornado warning is concerned, that is still in effect. Now, it has not been extended. Now, that shows you the red box here. That has not been extended. So that is good news, at least for as far as any radar indicated tornado is concerned. That one goes until 5:45 still. So a couple more minutes. It doesn't appear at this point that that will be extended. But either way, this is a very dangerous storm, regardless of any rotation in the storm. We still do expect some very damaging winds and a lot of lightning, very heavy rain. And like I've been mentioning, we've seen trees down across Chester County. This storm system does appear to be expanding and strengthening at the same time. So there you see it moving into upper parts of Montgomery County, right across Norristown now. You are seeing some very heavy rain from this. Conshohocken, you'll start to be seeing some very high winds from this. King of Prussia, really right in the middle of the very heavy rain. A lot of lightning here right across the PA Turnpike. Again, this is not a good time to be out there on the roadways in these areas. So if you have anyone on the road right now and they're dealing with very heavy rain, well, just know that they're probably going to get stuck in this. You might want to give them a call and let them know this is a very large storm. Everyone wants to take it slower on the roadways with this. But again, Wilmington just starting to see this moving into Newcastle County across the I-95 corridor. So this is a storm system we'll continue to watch and track. It is approaching the Philadelphia area right now. So we have a lot of heavy rain in this storm. And there you see it. It's continuing moving to the east right around 35 miles an hour. all the yellow shaded counties, that is a severe thunderstorm warning. So this storm is very dangerous. Winds near 60 miles an hour, lightning, very heavy rainfall. Some of it could be brief in some areas depending on the speed of the storm, but this is something that could be causing localized flooding too. These storms also have had a history of producing hail. So all these things that make up a severe thunderstorm, we are seeing that continue as it moves into the Philadelphia area, across the I-95 corridor, now into New Jersey and northern Delaware. So this is a very large storm across the area, and it is certainly something that you want to be indoors if it is heading in your direction. If you are indoors right now and this is in your area, you certainly want to stay away from windows because we have very high winds inside this storm. So now I'll zoom into Newcastle County, Delaware, right over Wilmington and also across 95. Westchester, we have reports now of trees down on cars. So that is the type of storm damage we're seeing from this. You don't want to be going outside in this storm. It's right over Newark, Wilmington, and the I-95 corridor. It's going to be moving into New Jersey soon, Upper Darby, Lower Marion. This is on your doorstep, also the Philadelphia area. So all this heavy rain and the high winds. Abington, you'll be seeing this very soon here. Windmore, you'll be seeing this soon too. But again, a very dangerous storm across the area. So I'm going to loop this so you can see the motion that it has to it. Now, again, that tornado warning we've been talking about, that actually did expire. It was not extended. Just back off to our west north of Baltimore, there is another tornado warning. That's outside of our area. But, of course, we'll be watching those storms to see if they progress and intensify as they move into our area. But, again, this is approaching Philadelphia. It's moving to the east around 35 miles an hour. I'll break up these sections so maybe you'll be able to see your city in this. We'll start with the Philadelphia area, lower Montgomery County. Areas that are in the path of this storm as it travels to the east around 35 miles an hour, I should say. These areas include Upper Darby, 550, you'll see the storm. Philadelphia, 559, we expect it. Feasterville, 602, and Camden by 604. Now I'll slide a little farther to the south. Now we're talking about parts of Gloucester County here. As I track this storm moving to the east around 35 miles an hour. Logan, 551, Woolwich, 556, West Deptford, 602, and Deptford by about 608. We'll go a little bit farther south now. We do have the storm right over Wilmington. And now here is the tail end of the storm. At least right now, we do expect more of this to move into Kent County from Maryland. Now, Beckett, you can expect it by 553, Woolwich, 558, Pilesgrove, 603, and Alloway by about 607. So, again, this is a very dangerous storm. And apparently now we do have pictures of some storm damage. Like I mentioned, trees down on top of cars in Chester County. Let's head over to Vince Latanzio with a look at some of the pictures that we have across the area.
That's right. Let's get right over to Vince Latanzio right now, standing over at the big monitor. Vince, you've been pulling together the best pictures and video that you've been able to see so far. We've been seeing them here at our desk.
We really have, looking at Twitter and Instagram, and a lot of times that is how we're able to get the quickest images is from social media. Vince, what do you have?
Yeah, guys, we're getting images through all over, the first images and the first videos in from viewers all across the area. Mostly right now, the first stuff that we're seeing is in Chester County, where some of the strongest storms just moved through. And this is actually from Westchester. And as you can see, we were talking about trees down on cars. Sheena was just talking about. This is a tree that came down in the front yard of this gentleman's house. This is in Westchester. He says, be safe out there. You can see that the tree is split into pieces as it fell down. It doesn't look like it hit any cars. There's a truck out in the corner over there. This one's a little hard to see, but it's obviously coming down hard rain, and there is, if you look right behind that sign there, that street sign, there is a tree that was ripped right out of the ground. You can see the roots right there, right by where the porch is, the white porch right over here, and this is, again, in that same area of the West Goshen, Westchester area. And here's some video this viewer just took of the storm moving in. You can see the leaves going through the air very quickly. They're running inside. You should not be outside. Follow Sheena and Glenn's warnings. Make sure that you're inside and that you seek shelter in these storms, especially as they move through the area. But these are the first three images that we're seeing and video that we're seeing from the storms. I'm going to go collect some more, and I'll make sure that I bring them to you as soon as we get them. Keith?
Thank you very much. A serious situation, heavy wind damage that we're seeing there. The tornado warning had expired in Chester County, but we're going to continue to track severe weather all across the area.
We've seen the lightning. We've seen the heavy rain coming down. We heard Sheena talking about the winds being a real problem here, as we could see with those downed trees and localized flooding, which we don't need anymore in areas. We'll check in with Sheena right after the break. We are continuing to follow severe weather. Here's a live picture from you right now. There was a tornado warning that was in effect in Chester County. That expired at 5:45, but the severe weather continues.
This is in Delaware right now. This is I-95 looking from the Blue Rock Stadium. You could see that the travel is on there for the rush hour, 5:52, and they're dealing with heavy winds, heavy rain. Lightning strikes are on the way as well. Sheena, Parveen is tracking all of that. Sheena, what's the timing of this so far? I see it's over Wilmington.
Well, it is over Wilmington right now, Keith, and it's making its way into New Jersey. It's making its way into Philadelphia. It's already over the major interstates from Wilmington to just about south of Philadelphia. But here is a look at the radar. This is a very big line of some very strong storms. So let me first just tell you what is expected in these storms. 60-mile-an-hour winds, lightning, very heavy rainfall, and also hail. We've seen that with these storms. These storms have a history of producing damaging wind. We have already had reports of trees down in Chester County and trees down on top of cars. So now it is moving into the Philadelphia area, Abington across the PA Turnpike. Very heavy rain, Lower Marion, moving into Philadelphia, like I mentioned. And let's take a picture now at the Center City skyline. Very dark here. You definitely want to be indoors as this storm approaches. We don't have rain yet on our camera here, but very heavy rain is in fact approaching. That's right. And right near the Philadelphia area, it does appear that we do have a lot of rotation possibly inside this storm. So this is something we will definitely be watching. This entire line of storms, the leading edge right here where I'm zooming in across 76 here and across some of the major interstates around the Philadelphia area. This is where we're seeing the potential for some of the most damaging winds. Like I mentioned, moving into Philadelphia, Marion, you're seeing the heavy rain out of this. And as I slide to the south, Chester, very heavy rain moving into West Deptford. So you are in the path of that Cherry Hill. All the counties you see shaded in yellow. This is a severe thunderstorm warning across the area. It extends through much of New Jersey, close to the I-95 corridor. It's moving into Salem County, Newcastle County, near Middletown, starting to see very heavy rain too. But of course, we already have the heavy rain and damaging winds right across 95 and into the Wilmington area. So again, this is a line of storms moving to the east, mainly around 45 miles an hour. So again, a severe thunderstorm warning is out till 6:30 for much of New Jersey, just to the east of the I-95 corridor. And these storms again traveling to the east around 45 miles an hour now. So I'm going to track this for you. Some of these storms have been in fact speeding up across the area as they continue to strengthen. As I track this entire line moving to the east, we expect it near Camden in about a couple minutes. Cherry Hill 6:03, Evesham Township 6:14, Bridgeton by about 6:19, and Vineland by about 6:27. Now, Glenn just told me in Wilmington, Delaware, a 67-mile-an-hour wind gust was reported. So this is the type of wind damage that could really cause a major concern across the area. These are the type of winds that could cause trees to go down across the area. Now I'm going to zoom in a little more so I can show you, maybe you can see your city here wherever you live. If you are in this area, I'll be able to show you the timing of it as it's about to move through. So we'll start with areas of Lower Bucks County. Again, 45 miles an hour to the east. Lower Bucks County moving into Cinnaminson and Willingboro. We're looking at it moving into Lower Southampton by 5:59, Bensalem 6:04, Falls 6:08, and Bristol by about 6:11. So now we'll slide a little farther to the south. Moving into the Philadelphia area, right now we're seeing the very heavy rain. Let's take a look at the outside camera. We still do have the dark clouds around. We don't have the rain just yet in the Philadelphia area, but this is one section that we're watching very closely. I'll track this area for you as we go off to the east. Cherry Hill 6:05, Gloucester 6:08, Voorhees 6:12.
You can hear the lightning, you can hear the rain over our heads right now in Bella Cynwyd, Montgomery County. NBC 10 News at 6 is next.
Here are National Baton, Jim Rosenfield.
And coming up next on NBC 10 News at 6, tracking these dangerous storms.
A tornado warning just expired right now. Let's get the latest from Glenn.
Yeah, that particular threat is over. We've had a lot of reports of wind damage already. We're keeping a close eye on these fast-moving storms. The First Alert forecast is next.
NBC10 First Alert Weather breaking news.
Well, as one tornado warning just ended, another one has just now gone into effect. This is in South Jersey, just really south of Philadelphia.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Rosenfield along with Renee Chenault-Fatah. As you can see behind us, strong storms moving through Philadelphia right now. Let's get right to NBC10 First Alert meteorologist Sheena Parveen with the latest. Sheena.
Yeah, that's right. We have a tornado warning now. This one is just south of Philadelphia. It is moving into New Jersey. This is an area where we expect it to really continue to strengthen as it moves in. So now here is a look. We have Philly International. We have Gloucester City. We have Deptford. We have Gloucester, Ashland, all these areas in this tornado warning. It was just issued. This is going to go until 6:30 this evening, so about 30 more minutes. Now, I'm going to loop this for you. We'll look at the motion for Paulsboro. You are right on the edge of where this tornado warning is issued, so I'm going to zoom out a bit. Here you see the Philadelphia area. I'm going to get rid of some of these yellow boxes because these are severe thunderstorm warnings. Right now, we're just going to focus on that tornado warning across the area. So again, this is the section where we do expect some extremely strong winds. Paulsboro, you are in this area as well. West Deptford, East Greenwich. This is across 295. Gloucester City, you are also included in this warned area. So again, this is a tornado warning south of Philadelphia, just south of Cherry Hills, also the warned area until 6:30. Now over Paulsboro, that is where a possible tornado, we have not had a report of one on the ground, but a possible radar indicated tornado just south, just over Paulsboro, or 8 miles southwest of Gloucester City. It's moving to the east at 50 miles an hour. So in fact, these storms are picking up speed and they're also picking up strength as they move to across the area. I'm going to track this for you. 50 miles an hour is a pretty quick storm here. So again, as we are going into New Jersey from Paulsboro into the New Jersey side of the Delaware River, this storm system is continuing to pick up speed with possible rotation here. So I'm going to track it to the east right around, again, 50 miles an hour. Deptford 604, Runnymede by about 606, Gloucester 610, Voorhees 613, and Evesham Township 616. So again, this is a very quick moving, dangerous storm. We do expect very damaging winds inside this storm, winds near 60 miles an hour or greater if we do not have a tornado on the ground. We've not gotten any reports of a tornado on the ground, but this is a radar indicated tornado. Mantua, you're right on the edge of this as well. So again, Paulsboro is where we had the initial indication, where we also have quite a bit of lightning over the area. So again, very heavy rain. We have a lot of lightning. We have damaging winds with this tornado warning. So right near 295, near Paulsboro, if any of these roads sound familiar to you, Berkeley Road, Harmony Road, right near the Paulsboro area, and this is right near Philly International Airport too. So this is where we have the tornado warning. It's moving towards West Deptford. Deptford, you are in this warned area. We're also looking at Gloucester in this warned area. Mantua's in the warned area, but again, it is moving very quickly. So as we zoom out here, this red box again is the tornado warning. The very heavy rain and very high winds, that's moving across the Philadelphia area right now. I'm going to pull up one of the cameras very quickly just so we can see what's happening out there. This is our camera looking towards Center City. You really can't see much. We have very heavy rain and damaging winds. Again, winds could be near 60 miles an hour or greater. At this point, we don't have reports of any tornado on the ground, but we could get them in very soon if this storm has enough rotation. But again, these are the areas that we are watching very closely for any type of storm damage. If you are in the warned area, you want to get into a basement, the lower level of your home. If you don't have a basement, get into an interior hallway or closet. You want to stay away from windows, and you certainly want to stay there until this storm passes because, like we mentioned, we have some very damaging winds across the area. I'm going to zoom out again to give you a bit of a perspective. Again, this is just south of Philadelphia. Tornado warning. That's the red box. It is moving into Deptford across the major interstates, and again, very damaging winds. If you are in this warned area, stay away from windows, like I mentioned, and you really want to seek shelter. And if you are anywhere east of this area, any of the cities I've mentioned, that is also an area where you really want to take shelter and stay inside. I'm going to toss it over to Chief Meteorologist Glenn Hurricane Schwartz. He has a closer look at what we can expect from this storm and the rotation in it. Glenn?
Yeah, we have video of some of this activity we've seen. This is in Woolwich Township, Gloucester County, and the wind, of course, has been incredible. The rain starts coming down sideways, and this is covering a very large portion of our area. This is not just one little individual heavy or severe thunderstorm. We're seeing literally hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people affected by this storm complex. Now, we get reports of damage through the National Weather Service from all over the country, and they get plotted immediately as they come in. So we have had reports from Chester County itself, Thorndale, multiple reports of trees down, and also Honeybrook in Chester County, multiple reports of trees down. That was the reason for the tornado warning that was issued earlier for Chester County. Now, the futurecast shows that this whole line continues intact as it heads down to the shore by 7 o'clock, Atlantic City down into Dover. And as we've been mentioning for the last couple of hours, whatever severe weather we saw to our north and west was going to intensify because it was coming into even hotter and more humid air. That hot and humid air continues all the way down through Delaware and South Jersey. So I don't really expect this to weaken, certainly not in the next hour or so. Now, we're looking at the velocity, at the winds. Now, when we saw all of this damage in Chester County, we were seeing some of these colors, the red and green colors, kind of entwined, so in a circular fashion. So when the radar is shooting up into the cloud, it is seeing the wind as well. That's what Doppler radar is. And if you see winds coming from different directions over a short distance, that's an indication that there's some kind of a circulation. Now, that's what we saw in Chester County. That was the reason for the issuance of the tornado warning. But what I'm seeing now on the velocity mode is more of a straight line and not as much of the circulation as we saw in Chester County. But if there is something, this is the area. When you see these notches and anything besides just a straight line that is moving to the east, then we're seeing something. This is in Deptford Township here, and East Mantua, East Greenwich Township as well. And we're going to continue to monitor this particular area to see if the rotation that is detected gets stronger or gets weaker. But once again, this is covering a very large area, like Sheena was showing you, and there is so much wind higher up in the atmosphere that any thunderstorm is capable of producing winds strong enough to cause damage. Now, if the trees all blow down in the same direction, it's not a tornado, but it's still damage, and it can do a lot of damage with a 60, 70 mile an hour wind gust. So it doesn't have to be a tornado to cause the damage.
All right, we're continuing to watch this weather move through our area right now. I want to take some live pictures, Glenn. You see what we see behind us, which is not a whole lot. We see bolts of lightning. We've been watching heavy rains moving through the Philadelphia area. We have other live pictures to show you. Obviously, the heavy rain and moving through right now is making it tough to see on our live Skycam network. But there you see the lightning.
I mean, while you're showing these pictures, Jim, we want to let people know that this, of course, is coming at a time when people are trying to get home. We're getting reports on SEPTA that the regional rail, there are problems on the Thorndale as well as the Manayunk lines, power outages, also power out in sections of Gladwin. Why don't we check back now with Sheena Parveen. Sheena, can you tell us what's going on?
Yeah, so Renee, we still have this tornado warning across the area, again, just south of Philadelphia. Here's a look at it on radar. We have some extremely heavy rain. Most likely we have hail in this area too, right near Haddon Township, Belmar, just around 676, right across the river from Philadelphia. We have a lot of wind in the area, so wind damage is likely and most likely occurring right now. Haddonfield, Cherry Hill, you're seeing some very heavy rain from this, and all of these areas are in the tornado warned area. We're seeing Deptford with the very heavy rain across 42, Gloucester, and again, this is the general area where we expect the most rotation inside this storm, so the most wind damage inside this storm. I'm going to take the radar off very quickly just so you can still see the tornado warning. This is still out for New Jersey, all the cities, Gloucester, Clementon, Evesham, Berlin, Deptford until 6:30 this evening. So again, this is a very serious storm. if you're in the path of this storm, you need to take cover, get into a basement, interior hallway, or closet. Stay away from windows because this storm, it does not appear to be weakening. It's across 76 Haddon Township. Extremely heavy rain, very high wind, damaging wind. Gloucester seeing just on the edge of the heaviest rain and across the I-95 corridor. So again, this whole storm system, as I put it in motion here, is moving to the east right around 45 miles an hour or so, near 50 miles an hour. And that's what we're tracking going into New Jersey. 71-mile-an-hour winds, Glenn just told me, reported at Philadelphia International Airport. This is a very dangerous storm. A radar indicated tornado possibly, but we have not gotten any reports yet of a tornado on the ground. But again, if you're in the path of this, you really need to take shelter. I'm going to track this for you. Now, all the cities here in the red box, this is the tornado warned area. But as we track it, moving to the east, again, it's moving fairly quickly, but it is a storm system that's going to be producing a lot of damage across the area. So now it's moving east around 50 miles an hour. Voorhees 611, you can expect it. Marlton 612, Berlin 613. Evesham 614. That's how fast this storm is moving. It's expected to cover a lot of ground before it actually leaves the area. So again, this is a tornado warning for parts of New Jersey that I just mentioned. And again, some of the most rotation right around Haddonfield, Barrington, Ashland, Gloucester. If any of these street names sound familiar to you, Chews Landing Road, Davistown Road. These are areas where we expect some of the strongest winds. Deptford still seeing that across the I-95 corridor near 295. And again, this is all moving towards Evesham Township and Berlin. I'm going to track this again because it is making pretty quick progress towards the east. Marlton 612, Evesham Township 614. Tomlinson Mill 615, Atco 617. So again, a tornado warning in this area. This is a very dangerous storm, and it's expected to either possibly be producing a tornado along with very heavy rain and a lot of lightning, or at least, at the very minimum, some very strong winds. And that would be giving us a lot of wind damage across the area. So aside from the tornado warning, this does extend towards Bensalem. It goes into South Jersey through Gloucester and Camden County, Salem County, Newcastle County. In Delaware, you are still seeing some very heavy rain from this. But again, a tornado warning just south of Philadelphia. Moving into New Jersey, Cherry Hill seeing some very heavy rain from this, and we are seeing rotation inside this storm, rotation strong enough to possibly produce a tornado. That is why we have a tornado warning out for the area. Ashland, you are right on the doorstep of some extremely heavy rain and damaging winds. Gloucester as well. This will be moving into Evesham Township very soon, only within a matter of minutes. And where you see the darker shading colors, that shows us very heavy rain. And again, those winds extremely damaging. If you are indoors, which you should be, if you're in this area, you want to stay away from windows. Let's head over to Chief Meteorologist Glenn Hurricane Schwartz with more details on this. Glenn?
Yeah, Sheena, this is a huge complex of storms. So the tornado warning just covers a small portion of the area, and Sheena just got into the details on that. But there are many, many counties under severe thunderstorm warnings and areas that are getting strong wind gusts. We've had reports of 67-mile-an-hour wind gusts at Wilmington and 71-mile-an-hour wind gusts at Philadelphia International. And my rule of thumb is whatever the airport is saying for a maximum wind, there's probably some place where it's even stronger. So there very well may be some place in our area, not too far from Philadelphia, getting a hurricane-force wind gust right now. The severe thunderstorm warning continues until 6:30 for all of these areas in the yellow. And that goes from southern Chester County through Newcastle County in Delaware, through Salem and Gloucester and Camden counties in New Jersey. So this is covering a very large area. Now, another thing you can look at here, this was a straight line of storms, and now it's not. It is curved, as you can see right here. Now, what happens is we call this a bow echo. All right, it's like a bow and arrow. So there's the bow. The arrow would be right here. That's where the strongest wind is, and that's how we got that 71-mile-an-hour wind at Philly International, even without a tornado touching down at the airport. You can get plenty of damage without a tornado. You're also seeing tremendous amounts of lightning. That's another indication of the severity of this storm. And the part of it that is bowing out is likely the strongest part of this, having the strongest, the most severe winds. So that is now starting to come through the most populated parts of Camden, Gloucester, Burlington counties, and moving more toward the lesser populated areas in the middle of New Jersey. But that is a tremendous amount of lightning that we're seeing right now. And you can see that it continues to move to the east. But this part now this is another issue that may be coming up here. You see this line in Baltimore and in Maryland, that's not really moving very much. So if this continues moving to the east and stretching, we could end up seeing flooding rains now in parts of northern Delaware and into South Jersey if this does not start moving. So what's happened here is the northern portion of this line is pushing eastward. The southern portion may be stalling here right in portions of Maryland. So we continue to have to watch this minute by minute because it keeps changing shape. So not only are we seeing these potential circulations, but we're also seeing the line itself making some changes. But that is going to continue heading down toward the Jersey Shore the next hour as well.
Okay, so we still have the tornado warning out for the area, Glenn, as well. So in New Jersey, same area, the warning is still in effect until 6:30. Now, aside from all the damaging winds we have along with these storms, we're also seeing flood advisories now posted because of the very heavy rain. So that is going to be a separate concern. We have damaging winds. We have flood advisories out. We have a lot of lightning across the area. So now we are looking again at the tornado warning in New Jersey still. Ashland, you are under this. Gloucester, you're under this very damaging winds. This whole storm system is approaching Berlin right now. So if you are in this area near Voorhees, Pine Hill, if Cross Keys Road sounds familiar to you, if you're in the vicinity of that, you have some very strong winds either in your area right now or they're approaching your area. Cooper Road, just north of Berlin and around Voorhees, you can expect some very damaging winds and also some very heavy rain and lightning from this. Jackson Road, Hopewell Road, all these areas near Berlin now. This is where we're seeing possibly some of the strongest winds, the most damaging winds inside this storm. This is what this storm system looks like as it is approaching. This is an extremely violent storm moving into New Jersey. If you are not in the tornado warned area, but you are still experiencing this storm, or if you are in the vicinity of this storm, you are still seeing some very damaging winds. I'm going to track this again for you because it's still traveling pretty quickly, around 50 miles an hour to the east. Now, this whole storm system, again, is not losing strength. It does not appear to be losing strength, but it continues to move very quickly across the area. So as we track this whole storm system, we're going to see it near East Berlin, and really right now it's moving. And it's moving so fast, it should be near Tandsboro by about 6:18 and Atco by 6:20. I'm going to track this a little bit wider for you, and we'll be able to see what time it actually gets near Medford Lake. So again, this entire storm system, very dangerous winds in this. Tandsboro by 6:18, Atco 6:20, Loudoun 6:21, Medford Lakes 6:23. So this whole storm system moving so quickly is expected to cover a lot of ground and do quite a bit of damage as it does so. Again, the tornado warning is still up. Williamstown, you're most likely seeing some very heavy rain and also some very damaging winds from this. This goes across the major interstates still in New Jersey and the Philadelphia area. Finally, some of the worst rain is leaving the Philadelphia area, but Cherry Hill, Cinnaminson, across 95, 295, we're still seeing a lot of damaging winds and also some very heavy rain along with a lot of lightning. But again, the tornado warning, as I take the radar off very quickly, you can still see it. It is still in effect until 6:30 this evening. Berlin, you are still under that, and you are right on the doorstep, like I've been mentioning, of a lot of heavy rain and some very damaging winds. So aside from the area in New Jersey under the tornado warning, we have other warnings to tell you about too. So as I turn on the severe thunderstorm warning, now you start to see all these counties light up in this yellow color all the way to the shore, Cape May County up through Ocean County. You can expect some very dangerous winds here with these storms approaching. So this entire line, as Glenn mentioned to you, we call this a bow because of the shape of it. But when we see this shape, we know that there are very damaging winds. This is expected to make its way to the shore. I'll track all this for you as it does so, moving around 50 miles an hour. So as it moves into the shore points, we're talking about Maurice River 637, Egg Harbor 650, Atlantic City 7 o'clock, Spray Beach 705, a little farther north, that's in Ocean County. So we'll continue tracking all these storms for you as we go through the rest of this evening. Let's go back though to that tornado warning. I'm going to take some of the radar off here so we can see. It appears the tornado warning has been canceled across the area, so it is no longer showing up. I believe it's been canceled. It's no longer showing up on our warning map here, but the severe thunderstorm warning is still showing up. So the tornado warning has now been canceled in New Jersey. Either way, I don't think that really is going to be an issue whether or not it was canceled. Doesn't mean you can go outside. We still do have very damaging winds. Now, the tornado warning was because we thought there may be a radar indicated tornado because of the rotation. Either way, we still have wind damage through the area. We have reports of very high winds, trees down on cars in Chester County. And this is the same storm that caused all that damage in Chester County, and it is still keeping its strength. We expect it to continue to intensify. Temperatures were too hot today. Humidity was too high today. And this is why this storm, in fact, is staying so strong. Let's take a live look outside, though. We have Center City skyline. We are seeing improvements here. Earlier, we couldn't even see it. You still see the lightning there clearly. It's still raining. We still have some very high winds. But as far as improvements are concerned, we are seeing more improvements in the Center City area just as far as the very heavy rain is concerned. So the storm system is making its way out of Philadelphia. Now, as far as New Jersey is concerned, if you're along the shore, well, you can expect this in a very short time. So it is still moving through New Jersey. We still do have a lot of lightning. There you can see it on our live camera. But now we'll go back to the storm because, again, this is still a very dangerous storm. Regardless of the fact that the tornado warning has been canceled, we are still seeing damaging winds. Winds near 60 miles an hour. This is what we expect with these storms. 60-mile-an-hour winds, lightning, brief heavy rain. Again, we have flood advisories across the area and also hail. We've seen reports of hail with this storm. Let's head over to Chief Meteorologist Glenn Hurricane Schwartz to talk more about the storms for this afternoon.
Yeah, we do have that huge area that is covered by severe thunderstorm warnings from northern Delaware all the way through basically the southern half of New Jersey. And we have had reports now of quite a number of power outages in parts of the area. Chester County, I believe.
We're getting the numbers at 66,000 customers right now just into us from Chester County, people without power. So 66,000, the number there. Also, just want to jump in here to say there's a ground stop at Philadelphia International Airport, which is to be expected with these high winds.
Yeah, they had a wind gust of 71 miles an hour officially at the airport. And this is the line that is coming down toward the shore. So obviously there needs to be a warning for every part of the area in that direction, because this is a solid line of storms. There are just no breaks in it. So at the very least, you get hit with this, you're going to get torrential rain and a strong gusty wind and lightning. It's not going to last all night. We've got drier air back to the west, but the northern portion of this line is now the strongest, at least as far as the amount of lightning is concerned, and the heaviest rain. The bowing of the line that we were talking about earlier still is there, so the strongest winds are likely right in the middle of that bow. A lot of lightning, too. That's 900 strikes just in this small area and just in 15 minutes. So you multiply that by 4, that's about 4,000 strikes per hour. So the leading edge of this, getting to Bridgeton, to Vineland now, and into Burlington County as well. And we continue to see this portion of the line moving to the east, but this portion is not. It's not moving anywhere. or it's moving right over the same spot. And that we call training. And now you have the issue of potential flooding that is in Maryland now, but obviously if this continues, it goes into Newcastle County in Delaware. That is the area that we have to watch. Now, the Futurecast hour by hour has shown this consistently, and here it is, and continues to move toward the southeast. Now, as the sun goes down and the temperatures go down, this line may start weakening, but it's going to take a little while because remember, these areas got to the mid-90s today. When we first saw the severe weather in central Pennsylvania and in Berks County, they got to about 88. There's more energy to fuel these storms in Philadelphia area and Delaware and South Jersey, as we've been saying for hours now.
All right, thanks so much, Glenn. Now, why don't we head over to Vince Latanzio, who's been getting pictures from social media throughout this past hour. What do you have for us, Vince?
Well, Renee, we've been getting lots of pictures, like you said, and reports from all across the area. I just want to show you real quick before we go to the pictures. Look at all these little dots plotted on the map. Those are reports from all around the area, and we're going to start over on Route 1. This is City Avenue at Green Hill, and we can see that trees have fallen down onto the roadway. They've taken down a light right there in that intersection. So we've seen reports of lots of crashes, lots of trees down. This was sent to us just now. This is I-95 through Chester, and the witness is telling me that the tractor trailer appears to have flipped over because of the wind. Glenn Hurricane Schwartz just talked about how wind speeds by the International Airport, which is right over there, were clocked around 70 miles an hour. So you can imagine that if the big rig was pretty empty and able hit with a side wind, it could flip over. We could see people are trying to get that gentleman out of the cab there on that car. This is what it looked like on Route 1. This is up in northeast Philadelphia as people were slow going on the highway there. Obviously, we don't want you to be operating your vehicle and recording at the same time, but it gives you a perspective of what that looks like. We talked about how this storm moved through the area, and this is that line that Glenn and Sheena were talking about. This is taken from South Philadelphia, looking towards Center City, and you can see the storm line of storms moving towards the Delaware River. The Delaware River is going to be on your right-hand side as the storm moves through West Philadelphia and into Center City and towards New Jersey. And this is another view. This is of Center City. Now, I'm getting reports from people all across the area, including people on Paco. And one gentleman on Paco has said that they were without power on the Paco train in the area of Haddonfield, in the Haddonfield stop. And Paco sent out an alert just now that says, due to smoke in the tunnel between City Hall and Broadway, trains are currently not running through Camden. The smoke was not from a train, is what they're saying. But obviously, we're getting a lot of reports across the area. We'll continue to follow them on NBC10.com and the NBC10 app. Again, you can watch the live radar along with Glenn and Sheena as we're doing it. Jim and Renee?
Well, that's bringing us news about Patco. We also know that the SEPTA regional rails, the Thorndale, the Manayunk line, affected by this storm, that really just within the past half hour, we went from no visibility to just a gray sky out there.
Let's go back to meteorologist Sheena Parveen with the latest on these fast-moving storms. Sheena?
That's right. In the fast-moving storms, as we've already mentioned, 66,000 without power, at least in Chester and Delaware County. We could certainly be seeing more of that as this entire storm system moves into New Jersey. Trees down in Chester County, trees down on top of cars, and I do expect more storm damage reports to come in through New Jersey within the next 30 minutes to an hour. Severe thunderstorm warning for pretty much all of South Jersey until 7:30 p.m. Now, the interesting thing about these storms is they've actually sped up a lot. They're now moving at 70 miles an hour. That is extremely fast. This is a very quickly developing line of very strong storms. So as it moves to the east-southeast around 70 miles an hour, Mullica Township 630, Egg Harbor City 632, Egg Harbor 639, Little Egg Harbor 644, and Atlantic City 647. I'm going to zoom in a little more so we can see some more town names here. So for Burlington County, also Atlantic County, this is going to be moving over the AC Expressway in Atlantic County right now. So as we track these storms moving very quickly, expect them in Mullica again 630, Sweetwater 632, Egg Harbor City 633, Vienna Gardens 635. And again, this entire storm line extends from the I-95 corridor just north of Philadelphia, now leaving Bensalem, but still in Willingboro and Cinnaminson. Mount Laurel seeing some very heavy rain, a lot of lightning across 295, flooding concerns now as well. Evesham Township, Medford Lakes, down through New Jersey, and this is all again continuing towards the shore very quickly. Let's head over to Chief Meteorologist Glenn Hurricane Schwartz with some of the rain that we have. Glenn.
Yeah, Sheena, as we've been showing you, a portion of the line is moving, another portion is not. Now, the northern portion was moving to the east. This is the radar estimated rainfall, and obviously this is over a relatively short period of time. So just east of Philadelphia and parts of Camden County, that's 2.5 inches of rain, probably in a good bit less than 1 hour. But the area that we were showing you that was lining up east to west and not really moving, the radar estimates in Newcastle County, over 2 inches of rain, and back toward in Maryland, about 3 inches of rain. Again, just in a period of a couple of hours. And if this continues moving along the same line, these numbers are going to climb very rapidly, and there would be some issues with potential flash flooding as a result of this. So this is something else we're going to have to be watching over the next hour or two.
All right, Glenn, and of course, all of us, we're not going anywhere as these storms move through our area. Count on us for updates on air and on the NBC10 app. We'll have pictures on our app as well. And here are live pictures from Storm Force 10 right now. Tell us where Storm Force 10 is, Brett. They're in Downingtown right now. So live picture right here of what the conditions are in Downingtown.
And
things have cleared out quite a bit.
Absolutely. The storm moved through so quickly. You see the sky there now much darker in this picture that we leave you with tonight. But of course, we will be bringing you updates throughout this evening. For NBC10, I am Renee Chenault-Fatah. Thank you for joining us.
And I'm Jim Rosenfield. And of course, the news continues now with NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. And we'll be back with updates.
NBC10 First Alert Weather breaking news.
And we are back on the air because severe storms have brought intense wind, lightning, and heavy rain across our region tonight. Take a look at this video. This is from Woolwich Township, Gloucester County. Tens of thousands are without power right now. SEPTA regional rail lines, right now, they're suspended because of this weather. And flights are also being affected at Philadelphia International Airport. I want to show you now some video of a tree that came right down on a car here. This is on Kelly Drive in Fairmount Park. Heavy damage to that vehicle. Of course, this is now causing traffic problems on Kelly Drive, blocking that road.
Yeah, Sheena talked about how wind was such a problem and so many trees coming down. That was case in point. Also here, NBC10 cameras spotted PECO crews repairing some downed power lines in Upper Providence Township. It looks like the wind brought down an entire utility pole there. And check out this video from King of Prussia, Montgomery County. Boy, you can hear that rain coming down. You can see it. The rain and the wind coming down heavily. Cars at a standstill in many areas.
It has been a busy weather afternoon and evening, so let's check in right now with our team of meteorologists. We'll begin with meteorologist Sheena Parveen.
Yeah, and you know, we still have some very strong and severe storms across the area right now, still giving heavy rain, damaging winds, possible hail, and a lot of lightning across New Jersey and parts of Delaware. So here's what the radar looks like. It is mostly now confined to New Jersey and Delaware. We have severe thunderstorm warnings out in New Jersey and Delaware until later this evening. So as I show you the severe thunderstorm warnings till 8 o'clock tonight for Kent County and through parts of New Jersey, we have those warnings right along the shore as well, and that is exactly where the storms are approaching. So I'll zoom in now. Ocean County, Burlington County, very heavy rain right near Brigantine, and the heavy rain is approaching the shore now right near Atlantic City as well. Very heavy rain with damaging winds. So winds could be in excess of 70 miles an hour. This will be moving into Ocean City right now, and as far as Cape May is concerned, you are still on the edge of these storms as they continue tracking mostly to the east-southeast around 60 miles an hour. We expect them in Sea Isle City by 7:02, Middle by about 7:05, and Rio Grande by about 7:07. So again, this is an area of thunderstorms that have potentially damaging winds. We've already seen wind damage across the area, and we expect to have more damage reports coming in. Now, for Newcastle County, we have some very heavy storms just south of Middletown moving into Kent County. So these storms are also moving mostly to the southeast and east around 60 miles an hour or so. So Dover Dover, you can expect them by 7:04. Camden in Delaware, you can expect them by 7:06. Riverview 7:13 and Harrington 7:17. This is a very dangerous line of storms. We have had storm damage already from this line of storms. Now it's progressing into New Jersey. Very heavy rainfall, like I mentioned. It's heading right along the shore now. Atlantic City getting pounded with heavy rain and dangerous winds. And this is an area where we will continue to watch as we go through the rest of the evening, especially for the rest of Delaware. Kent County, Sussex County, you may not have seen anything yet, but you do have strong storms heading your way. And of course, we'll continue tracking this as we go through the rest of the evening. But keep in mind, you do not want to be going outside in this until the storm completely passes. We've seen way too much lightning and way too many reports of trees down and a lot of power outages around the area. Let's toss it over to Chief Meteorologist Glenn Hurricane Schwartz with a closer look at the storms and the timing. Glenn?
Yeah, Sheena, there have been a couple of things that we have been looking at. Even the tornado warnings have expired. This one area into New Jersey has been showing this bow shape, bow and arrow. Okay, there's the bow. The implied arrow is right there. That's where the strongest wind is likely to be. This is the same thing that went through Philadelphia, 70-mile-an-hour winds at Philly International. There's no reason to doubt that there will be wind gusts of 70 miles an hour in, let's say, Burlington up toward Long Beach Island. The other thing that we're watching is this heavy area near Baltimore through eastern Maryland and coming into parts of Newcastle County, Delaware. It's been extremely heavy rain. It was not moving to the south at all, at least for a while, and now it is shifting a little bit, and that is going to help because the concern is related to any kind of flooding. Now, the Futurecast puts everything down and out within the next couple of hours. So the overall trend is going to be for this to continue moving. But look at this. This is just over the last 2 hours. The radar estimated rainfall, the areas in yellow, obviously, some of the heaviest. And a lot of this rain just fell in 1 hour. And this is 2.5 inches in parts of Newcastle County, over 2.5 inches in part of Camden County, and over 3 inches in parts of Maryland. So this is the area, this is just south of I-95, north of Middletown, and this whole area has had more than 2 inches of rain in probably around an hour, and it's still raining. So this is an area that I'm keeping an eye on to make sure that that rain moves out of that zone so we don't continue to pile up the rainfall and cause more flooding problems.
All right, Glenn, we'll check back with you. In the meantime, we've been getting power outage numbers, tens of thousands of customers without power right now, the bulk of them in Chester and Delaware counties. 69,000 customers in Chester County have no power right now, 72,000 plus in Delaware County, 9,600 in Montgomery County, and 8,900 customers in Philadelphia, and a handful in Bucks County. Also getting word that Amtrak service is now suspended on the Northeast Corridor between D.C. and Philly because of problems because of this weather, and the Keystone service between Philadelphia and Harrisburg. They're dealing with delays right now. Amtrak tweeting out that their crews are working quickly to make needed repairs.
And we know that with regional rail, all SEPTA regional rail lines suspended due to that severe weather as well, and the Norristown high-speed line. Those passengers could experience delays in both directions due to signal problems. We do want to go out to Harry Harrison, who is near the King of Prussia Mall, Route 202, taking a look at traffic there. The rain has subsided there, Harry.
Yes, the rain has stopped, but the problems are starting to mount. People with no patience, as you can see. Take a look. They are driving the wrong way down the shoulder here on 202. Everything is backed up from the Schuylkill back out to this on-ramp, and folks just have no tolerance to take their time to safely get off of this road. As you can see, there's an SUV right in front that just is turning around. This has been going on now for about the past 15 minutes. Traffic in front of us is at a dead stop, but once again, this is something that doesn't seem to be wise. There's no police supervision here. The only thing that folks are relying on is just, I guess, luck to make sure that as they go down the wrong way on this shoulder that they do not get into an accident. That's the story right here. We'll keep you updated as we continue to fight our way through the traffic.
All right, Harry, such a dangerous thing to do, to turn around and go the wrong way. As we're looking at more live pictures, or more pictures into NBC10 right here of the rain and its aftermath, these pictures coming to us from Atlantic County in Margate. And of course, these problems continue. Another live picture here from Wood Creek Park in Newcastle, Delaware, where we're looking at trees down. A lot of heavy winds that were moving through the area have caused a lot of problems.
There are numerous down power lines and down trees. Continue to send us the pictures to NBC10.com, and we will have more images for you tonight at 11.